Sarah, can you hear us?
Well, not, but I mean, no, I know. When we have like that.
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Perfect, we can hear you too. We'll be starting in just a second here.
I'm gonna just sit in the back and be quiet.
Oh, and we're to 6 o'clock. Yep, we're ready. Good evening, everyone. With the posted time having arrived and a quorum of members present, I will call the Finance Committee meeting for Tuesday, June 23rd, 2020 to order. Let the record show that we have two committee members attending via WebEx, Alder Martins and Alder Watson, but both are logged on. Okay, we've got two items that will require action tonight, and the other one is a report. So because we've got WebEx committee members, we will voice vote our two items. The first item on the agenda is the minutes of our previous meeting from June 9th of 2020, copies of which are in the packets. Any revisions or corrections to the minutes necessary? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes. Motion by Herbst, is there a second? Second by Ryan. Discussion or questions on the minutes? Hearing none, then we'll vote by roll call vote. Martins?
Aye.
Herbst? Ryan? Aye. Watson? Try and unmute, Sarah. I can see you, but I can't hear you.
Aye.
Perfect. And I'll vote aye as well. Minutes have passed unanimously. Item number 2 is discussion and possible action on an amendment for storage space of the Stone Mill historic sawmill structure with Andy Johnson. And Marianne, if you want to walk us through that item, or do we have, well, let's take a look. We've got an agreement here, and we've got a memo from the city attorney. Ann, did you want to walk us through that item and where you're at with the storage, and so that those who are attending at home can understand the issue? Right now, it looks like they are looking for us to approve an amendment to the agreement between the storage facility and the city. And we've had that building stored since 2013.
That's right. It's been there for some time, and we want to continue to store it. The only thing I didn't know was the cost for this, but in the past, I believe we paid, was it $2,200, Mary Ann, $1,100 by annually? So was it $1,100 every 6 months? Does anyone know? Does that ring a bell? Well, the agreement I have in my file from January 17th of 2013 says that we agree to pay, yep, $2,200 annually. So
Okay.
that's what we will pay now that the foundation is out of it, because they previously paid for it.
Sure. Which is in terms of things that we pay for, a rather nominal sum. That building appears to figure prominently into the South Riverfront design plan with the renovations that were planned for the farmers market at some point. So to continue to protect and preserve that building certainly makes sense. Does anyone have questions for the city attorney on the agreement? It looks like the same agreement. We would just be paying the storage instead of the foundation. If not, is there a motion to approve continuing the storage and paying the fee? Motion by Herbst, is there a second? Second by Ryan? Oh, second by Watson? Okay, further discussion or questions? Seeing none?
Thank you.
We'll voice vote. Thanks, Ann. Martins?
Aye.
Herbst?
Aye.
Ryan? Aye. Watson?
Aye.
And I'll vote aye as well. That passes unanimously. And the last item on our agenda, because we have a short one tonight, is the general fund report of revenues and expenditures from May 31st of 2020. We've got the report in the packets, and Marianne will just walk us through kind of where we're at since we're kind of nearing mid-year here.
Sure. Yeah, we're not really seeing any significant changes in trends that we've reported so far. Our licenses, of course, are down for the same reasons we reported last month, which was I guess licensing has slowed down a bit because of COVID. You know, a lot of the restaurants and taverns are slow to start up, and this is their license that's due in full on June 30th. So, you know, oftentimes they'll pay early when they submit their documents, and now because some of them were closed, the mail was going to their bar, they weren't even going in there to get their mail. It's a little slow, but we are, you know, seeing all of the establishments coming in, but council did authorize a 50% reduction in the license cost. And then we were late to get the bartender licenses out for renewal this year, again, because of the COVID-19. Permit revenue is actually up from 2019, and we did break records in 2019. It will certainly pass budget, and of course, we still have the water and sewer permits to be issued, so then we'll really break budget. Fines and forfeitures, this has been kind of a problematic trend. 2019, we saw a fall in revenues, 2018 as well. Of course, with COVID, there was a lot less people on the road and a lot less enforcement going on. So we expect that decline in revenues to continue. Again, hopefully, once we get our new software, we'll be a little bit more timely in some of the administrative tasks, and that might help us. As well as I am bringing to the next finance committee. So the state has two programs that they can help municipalities with collection. One is Tax Intercept, and another is what they call the State Debt Collection Program. And so we want to join that program as well. And hopefully that will help us with collection of delinquencies, and fines and forfeitures is an area where we do struggle with collections sometimes. Interest on investments, even though we've seen the bottom fall out on investments, because we have some investments in more long-term strategies, we will meet our budget. I'm expecting we'll meet our budget for 2020. Elections, we are seeing probably we will be in over budget situation. We are receiving some grant funds from the State of Wisconsin Election Commission to help us offset the increase election costs, such as the inflation in the absentee voting, some of the additional precautions we took during the election. So we will have grant money to offset probably what we're over in election expenses. Otherwise, all of the other expenses right now are tracking just great. Like we reported earlier, snow removal efforts were substantially down the first quarter of 2020 compared to 2019, so that's having a favorable budget for us in Public Works. So that's all we got.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah.
And, you know, if we're down in fine revenue and people are staying home and behaving themselves a little bit, I guess we can't fault them for that either. So
That's true.
It's good news, it's just not a whole lot of money, so.
Yep.
Does anyone have questions for Mary Ann about the report? Go ahead, Deb.
How are things going for the real estate taxes? Are you seeing some delays or?
We actually did not experience any sort of negative trends at the April collection. Of course, the July collection, we'll be sending those reminder notices out probably next week, because we like to get them out about 30 days in advance. We did see people who were getting their stimulus checks bringing and actually paying some of their installments early because they did receive that stimulus check. So I think that helped as well, because the timing of the stimulus checks and that second installment were, you know, well timed.
Sure. Good news. Anyone else have any questions? If not, we'll place Mary Ann's report on file. And we have no other agenda items for tonight, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Herbst, is there a second? Second by Ryan. Members in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. So we'll consider the finance meeting for tonight adjourned, and council will begin then in this chamber at 6:30. So thanks, everyone.